GSTL Season 1. NS Hosa. Axiom Acer. MVP. FXOpen. LGIM. AZUBU. Prime. Startail.
Welcome back to the GSTL. Lucky takes 2 wins, severely boosting his confidence and probably making Genius, I don't know, you can see it on his face there on the top of the bench. That's a tough loss to take. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, that was definitely not his strongest game that we've seen today. And Lucky, he is just this guy. Today, he's definitely what FXO needed. A little bit unexpected to see him do this well, but this is exactly what the team needs right now. Whoever wins today will be in a good spot to go to the playoffs. Not qualified just yet, but the loser will not only have to win the last match, but at the same time also make sure that rely on the opposing team losing.
Yes.
Well, not the opposing, yeah.
The team that they're opposed with as far as rankings in the playoffs.
Exactly.
So, the map choice is Star Station here. And ZVZ, interesting choice. On Star Station means that, well, it's hard to say conclusively that it means one thing or another, but this really, really big map is no longer going to be a factor after the ZVZ.
I'm also a little bit surprised to see Sleep. I would have expected other players here, but yeah. This kind of means that we have 2 Zergs coming up next.
Yeah.
I cannot see any other player than Symbol. Maybe Boom Boom, but not really. More Symbol.
Yeah.
Playing the 4th game. And so we have 2 Zergs left, most likely, like either way, for Team AZUBU.
Don't count Ganji out. I could see also Ganji.
That's a good point, but you know, I'm actually surprised that we don't see Ganji and Symbol. Yeah. They are the best players for the team for a reason in this season, and I don't know, it's a little bit of an odd choice, but these are the 2 players that they have left. Could be Ganji, you're right.
But like you said, I'm a little bit surprised I don't see Ganji now instead of Sleep. Sleep has played some decent games in the GSTL this season, but not as dominant as the other 2. And this is such a pivotal match. So, again, we said the same thing about Lucky. That it's something that we don't expect, something that we didn't see coming. But he could be doing just as well as Lucky, for example, in the team house behind the scenes.
And, you know, it's so great for the FXO team that this is the match where Lucky actually comes through for them, because this is the most important one for now. You want to have that win, so on the last play day, it is you who decides your fate. And FXO has it a little bit easier than other teams. They are going up against the Prime team. Prime is already out of the season, and they have not been doing well at all. So if FXO wins today, they have a really good shot of going to the playoffs.
Exactly. So we'll see if they can do that. We don't have the players in the lobby just yet, or it looks like Sleep is not quite ready with his settings. But on this map, I want to make this clear again because there's been a lot of confusion about this map. Probably starting next season, we won't see this version of the map anymore. But this is still the GSL version of the map, meaning that you do have close spawns as well as cross, not the ladder edition. The ladder edition is where it's cross only.
Yeah, you can't really just change starting positions or a map mid-season. That doesn't really work. Yeah, it's always an odd choice when it happens in other tournaments. But right now, that's exactly what we are going to have here. We have still a Star Station version where you can spawn on all the positions. And let's see what the idea is. Sleep is now in the lobby.
Yeah. And, you know, I don't know how this one is going to play out. Sleep is a very unpredictable player. He did decently when he was on Slayers. His history with Slayers is a little bit disputed, but regardless, that's kind of his background here. He was on IM for a really long time as well, don't forget about that.
They're putting Lucky just through all the hoops today. This is like the 3rd matchup that he plays now, so he has played them all so far. Sleep has not played a single match against Zerg offline in Heart of the Swarm. Lucky, on the other hand, won against Hope, I Eat Puppies, lost against Pick at DreamHack. Now we're going to find out how he's going to do against the Korean player here, the GSTL, Kalon Wolf. Starting to the bottom right, the player for Team AZUBU, it is
AZUBU Sleep.
there he is. Always got kind of a messy hairstyle. That's what he does his do.
He definitely does. And to the top left, 2 kills already in this series. Great performance today. I'm very happy for him. He is.
FXO Lucky.
I really love the Pennant race format because you can see so many different players and build so many different stories, and you have a player that surprises people and comes out on days like this. You just have so many more opportunities to see different players, different play styles. I'm really happy for it.
So, in this team match, this is actually a very interesting situation now. Violet is currently at home Story Cup. The best remaining players that we have are Bung Bung, Ganji, and Symbol. It's a little bit weird to have Sleep now in this position. Not only because he might not be the player that comes to mind when you talk about ZVZ, but more so, for me personally, it's that it's not only about defeating Lucky here. It's about defeating more than only one opponent, and I feel that the other players that I just named are more suited to achieve that.
Yeah. You know, as far as AZUBU goes, the rest of their lineup feels a little bit more predictable because, I mean, it's probably going to be either Symbol or Ganji, and probably Symbol, and if Lucky wins again, that means that if you put Symbol out, then you're also risking a ZVZ where you could lose from, you know, just not scouting a Ling push coming or something like that. It's a little bit more volatile, and I don't know. I mean, I would bet my life that they're not going to send out San or Inca or Boom Boom on this one, not when everything is on the line. I mean, they are good players, they are good snipers, but when it comes down to the bitter end, it's definitely going to be one of those 2 guys.
I feel it has to be Symbol, and this is why the choice to put Sleep out here as a 3rd player is a little bit weird to me. It's another Zerg. You just take a lot of variety away from you. If you think that ZVZ is the best choice against Lucky, I feel it has to be Symbol now, so that you later on have the option of either sending out another Zerg play if the situation calls for it, or you can still rely on either the Protoss players that you just named or Ganji. As it is, it's Sleep as the 3rd player, and in this game, Lucky gets a bit the upper hand in the build orders. He goes for the hatch first, whereas we have for Sleep, first of all, the safer build with the spawning pool and then going into the hatch. So the battle of build orders was won by the FXOpen player.
He also has a much faster Zergling speed started, which will give him the advantage with scouting, most likely. Obviously, with the pool first that we have from Sleep, he gets his Lings over here first. So he's going to be able to go into the main base since neither player knew that they were spawning cross because this is the GSL version. And he gets the information about the hatchery timing. He will also probably get to scout the gas. It's going to be close here. And sees the Baneling Nest as well. So he gets to see everything. Nothing to stop him.
Baneling Nest for both sides now. On a map like this, you always have a lot of Ling, Baneling aggression. This is where the micro really starts to shine, where players have to control everything perfectly to make that happen. We're gonna see if we have early aggression or if both just agree on just taking it easy for now and then transition into the next phase of the game. But already a couple of additional Zerglings out here for Sleep. Let's see how heavy he's going to commit to those.
Yeah. There's the scout. Both players getting good scouting information here. Not that either player is hiding anything. This is very standard what they see. But they're making sure that, you know, one player's not skipping a Baneling Nest. You scout somebody skips a Baneling Nest, maybe you make a bunch of Speedlings and try to punish them for that, or you see a Roach Warren and you're like, oh, okay, you're really going to try to do that.
Talking about Speedlings, we have now Lucky with the additional Zerglings going for the aggression here. One Baneling is being morphed by Sleep, and he adds the additional Spine Crawler at the front. Well, let's see how heavily Lucky is going to commit to this. He already has Banelings on the way, and the Zerglings are now rallied across the map. That has been spotted by Sleep. His Overlords are in position. He reacts immediately with additional Banelings.
Gets a wall set up as well as a Spine Crawler. And with these 3 Banelings finishing, I don't think this is going to do a whole lot. It all comes down to the micro, though. The leading Banelings for Lucky are really, really important here. He's got the Queens up front.
Yeah, trying to dart in. One Baneling goes down, trying to bait the other ones out.
Yeah, really nice control from both players here, but a few Lings getting in the main.
Only is the main getting those scouting information now, but those the Banelings still there, and ooh, he could lose 2 for 3. That was close.
That was really close.
But gets the better trade. Sleep, that is.
Yeah, Sleep with a good defense here. I don't think that this attack is going to get anything done. He starts his lair back at home. He knows he needs to probably go down the middle of this path at this point. Goes into all 3 extractors.
We have the armor upgrade here for Sleep, so he spends his gas into upgrades instead of going into the tech. Could rely on heavily upgraded Zerglings to gain map control at first.
Yeah, but this means that he is going to have a tougher time taking his 3rd base.
I know this is something that you definitely can pull off. You try to hit your opponent before he has the Mutalisks out, and you go for a very aggressive timings here. Those upgraded Zerglings are doing so much damage, and you will have such a lead on the ground. That is going to be quite... That's dangerous. That's really dangerous. Even with the Roach Boy now, that means that the +1 attack upgrade, if you go for it right away, doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
So let's see what Lucky is going to do now that he has the lair completed. Is he going into
well, with the Roach Boy,
Spire? With the Roach, yeah.
It doesn't seem like it. And there's the +1.
That's the +1.
So he's just going to be behind in upgrades, but different upgrades. You know, one thing I have to ask is I wonder who allowed these two colors, because I'm getting a headache already watching, trying to figure out whose Zerglings are whose.
Yeah. Nah, I hear you.
I'm like, it's getting so confused, but...
So double upgrades for both of them now. In the long run, the upgrades for Lucky should give him the upper hand, since he has the upgrades for Roaches, and this is obviously going to be a Roach-heavy game. But at the beginning here, the Zerglings will do quite a lot for Sleep, and that's the time where Lucky has to be careful, because now it gets a little bit dangerous, man.
Yeah. Good defense here so far. And Lucky just making sure that he doesn't trade poorly.
There are those additional Zerglings now for Sleep. This is really the timing that he wants to hit. A lot of 1-1 Zerglings. This is where he has to shine. There won't be any upgrades for Lucky. He will have Roaches and he needs a few Banelings, but he needs to try to save himself this third base, and that is going to be very difficult against Sleep style. Yeah. This is very, very aggressive.
And with the Carapace on those Zerglings, the Roaches are going to have a little bit more trouble. Overseer comes in here to scout. He sees what's going on. Yeah. The Lings are already on the way, though.
Lings on the way, and he spotted them earlier, and now he has to defend. He doesn't get any additional Banelings now. +2 armor upgrade has also been started for Sleep. Here come those Lings. A good position at the mineral patches for Lucky.
Yeah, but I don't know if he has enough. There's so many Lings here. No cancel on the hatchery.
No cancel. He tries to make this happen, but the 1-1 Zerglings, they're just too tough. And they are streaming in, taking the rest of the Roaches. Lucky is losing a lot of ground here.
Yeah, this is definitely Sleep's timing. He's hitting it well. A full wall-up is made at the natural, but this is exactly what he wants. He wants to kill this hatchery so he gets the economic advantage. He already has the upgrade in Carapace, and he's going, into the Roaches. He's just transitioning here.
Yeah. And with the transition, he has his own third base. He can start mining from that in just a few seconds. We have also additional armor upgrades for him, speed upgrades. He's catching up with the tech that Lucky had out there. He has the third, he has the upgrade lead, he has a lead in supply. At this point, Sleep has such a huge lead in the game that only he can lose it.
Yeah, you would have to pull a genius here.
He had to pull a genius. If he doesn't pull a genius, the game will end in Sleep's favor. He has such a huge lead now that Lucky should not be allowed to recover from this. Lucky is going to try to establish a third, but Sleep is just going to hit it over and over again.
He's just going to kill it again. He has this control. Not only did he take the third out, but he didn't trade for it. Yeah. He killed the third and got his Zerglings away, so he still has those Zerglings, which didn't lose their upgrades, because that doesn't happen in StarCraft 2, and he's just going to come in here again with a huge Ling Force, but this time also with the Roaches to back it up.
Lucky will soon have +2/+2. That's what he's going for. This is just too much.
This is domination. A good position on the Roaches again, but it's just way too much.
Yeah. The Roach numbers alone are already superior, and with the added Zerglings, there's no way for him to hold against this attack. He will lose the third once more. He has no counterattack in place, and Sleep just goes for the natural. He knows that he can finish it right here.
Yeah. This game is over. Lucky's reign is over as well, and Sleep ending up being the right choice here for AZUBU. GG.
I wouldn't go that far yet. Sleep has to prove to me more than only taking one game. We are now in such a state of the team match that it's not only about this game anymore. This is about winning more than one. And so far he did what was expected of him. Took the game against Lucky. But if he really wants to come through for his team and show that he's the better choice compared to players like Ganji, Symbol, and Boom Boom for the third player, then he has to win more than only this one game.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, he's the right choice initially. Can he do what is required next? Because I think it's Hurricane now.
They need just someone who can deliver more than only one win. If not, then they will lose the team match in the end.
What FXOpen can do now is they can either send out Gumiho to Terran versus Zerg, Sleep, and then keep Hurricane if they have to play against Ganji. Or they can, if Hurricane wants to play the Protoss versus Zerg, he feels confident in that because he may face two Zergs, they could send him out now. They could save him, but I think it's definitely going to be Hurricane and Gumiho that we see next. For those of you who went on a hiatus or something like that, don't know who Hurricane is, he is the player formerly known as Tier.
Is this he in the studio?
You know what? Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure I saw him.
I mean, we could see SC too. He played great so far.
Yeah, he's definitely here.
Every game that we saw him. So I could actually, given the latest results, I could see SC over Gomeo.
Yeah, yeah. That's a fair point. I didn't think about that. You know, it's usually if SC comes out, he comes out a little bit earlier. Yeah. So he wasn't on my mind, but now that you mention it, I could certainly see that.
But I agree with what you said about Hurricane. I mean, Hurricane is a strong player. Not sure what we see against Sleep, though. I really don't know. I mean, do you send out... If you rely on a Terran and a Protoss, I could actually see Hurricane being the finisher this time.
No, Hurricane, to me, when I think of him as, you know, you use him to take somebody out, I think of him against a Terran or against a Protoss more than I think about him against a Zerg player. So I could see them sending out SC now. He's great in Terran versus Zerg, and in recent past, great in Terran versus Zerg. So he starts to seem more likely of a choice right now for me. The map is Belcher Vestige, so that could really be anybody.
Yeah, I could see a Protoss there, though.
I could too. We see a lot of Protoss picks on Belcher Vestige.
So this, I mean, the series is currently tied. We are 2-2. So this game is going to determine a lot. It's going to determine who takes the lead in the series and therefore gets the upper hand. Can Sleep do it again? He just won against Lucky and finally took out the Zerg player of FXOpen. But now, who will Choya choose?
Gumio shifts position, and it is Tier, aka Hurricane.
It is Hurricane. We have him being the next player here.
And the AZUBU coach is like, all right, so we're going to use this player last now if it doesn't work out. He like made his check mark instantly. He's like, all right.
I'm happy to see that Tier is fine. I told you that I completely ran him over when we played soccer, right?
Yeah. You...
Poor guy.
Oh, yeah, I guess he's still fine. Yeah. No concussions or anything like that.
It was pretty funny. Like, I'm actually really fast, guys. And I think MMA actually, like, passed me the ball and put it far, far ahead of me. So I was in full speed, grabbed the ball and was trying to put it past here. And he just didn't move. I thought he would try to catch the ball or anything, but he just stood in my way. And yeah, on full speed and him just standing there. That was a collision that didn't go too well for him, but he was okay. So I'm happy to see that there was nothing else left. But yeah. He went flying, and I was like, I felt really bad. I was like, ooh.
Yeah. Did you leave a tear in his eyes?
No tears.
Okay.
There were no tears. I felt a little bit of a wind blowing.
Yeah. You know, like a very up-and-coming tropical storm, perhaps.
Yeah. Protoss versus Zerg. Belcher Vestige going to be the map. So we have a really good choice for Team FXOpen. And now it's time for Sleep to prove that he can do more than only take or than only snipe on opponent.
Yeah. You know, has to show here that of course his player picks are just as amazing as his vest that he always wears, the GSTL. You know, this is tense, man. I keep saying that, but it just hasn't changed. This has been a close match, very back and forth. Sleep showed a very technical, very smart ZVZ for the map, but now the pick is out of his hands. It's up to Hurricane.
Yep. Hurricane, can he do it? FXOpen, they rely on him. The team that loses today will have a tough spot going into the last play day. It's not going to be in their own hands, under their own control anymore if they advance to the playoffs or not. So the win today is what you need to set the foundation for next week.
Yes. Very, very important here.
Well, we're going into the next game right now. Here at the GSTL FXOpen up against AZUBU. GSTL 2013 Season 1 Colombia.